Welcome to the Who's Left podcast, a show about Indiana politics, history, and culture from the unapologetic perspective of the Hoosier left. My name is Scott Aaron Rogers, and I am recording from Bloomington. So today is Monday, November 4th, the day before Election Day 2024. Over the course of this last year, I've gotten to know so many candidates, staff, and volunteers who have worked their butts off trying to create a healthier democracy in Indiana and beyond. I know that is many of you listeners. Thank you for the tireless effort. You are the heroes that make this experiment work. And thank all of you for listening, whatever you've done in your own life to help better our civil society, whether you've been making calls, writing postcards, or just nudging a friend in the right direction. Everything helps. This weekend, tens of thousands of people gathered in Washington and at Women's March events in all 50 states, primarily to fight for abortion rights. Harrison County Democrats organized a sister march in Corydon. Statehouse District 70 candidate Sarah Blessing invited me to be there, so my wife and I made a weekend of it, traveling to meet new friends, march in solidarity with the women of Southern Indiana, and get a feel for the mood of the Hoosier electorate before the big day. Now, Saturday, we enjoyed a leisurely drive through the state's rolling hills to arrive in the old capital city in mid-afternoon, and Ford, loving the fuel efficiency on the Maverick Hybrid, by the way. I'd read an ad for the right price. But 9th District Congressional Democratic candidate Dr. Tim Peck started his day earlier, just up the Ohio River in Jeffersonville, which down here they call Jeff, which results in interesting phrases like, I was just up in Jeff this morning. Anyway, Peck was at a rally for Indiana gubernatorial candidate Jennifer McCormick and featuring popular Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. The two-term incumbent and VP shortlister knows what it takes for a Democrat to win in a traditionally red state. And he feels good about Hoosier's chances to flip some seats this year, including the 9th. Dr. Peck is the last person I got a chance to sit down with Saturday evening after he'd been rallying all day, but that discussion is where I'd like to begin this program, as he has his finger on the pulse of Southern Indiana better than just about anybody. Here, he talks about the population's mood palpably shifting, and you'll also hear Harrison County activist Kenna Lentz leading chants in front of the old Capitol building. For all the audio in today's episode, this was my first experiment in recording remote and in the field, so thanks for bearing with any sound quality issues. All right, hey, we are here with Dr. Tim Peck,
hey.
congressional candidate. Hopefully, congressman. You want to try it on for size?
Congressman, yeah.
Candidate for Congress here in Indiana's 9th District. Hopefully, my next congressman. How you doing, Doc?
I am doing wonderfully, thank you. This has been an amazing day. We started with a rally in Jeffersonville with over 300 people. The unofficial count was 325. There in a little park on a gazebo, and who was the special guest? It was Andy Beshear. Jennifer McCormick was there, Terry Gooden, Destiny Wells, myself, a number of Statehouse reps. It was a tremendous energy. And the best part, if I may, is that the Republican Party had their own rally the Saturday before, and only about 70 people showed up or so for Braun Beckwith. Who else was there?
Rokita was Rokita there.
Morales and Houchin. So
a literal murderer's row.
Just people that no one seems to be very excited about, right? And in fact, people seem to be excited about coming out and getting them out of office. So, just an amazing day. And then back here in Harrison County, where we're sitting right now in Corydon for a women's march, just a show of strength, a show of bravery of 100 plus people out marching, holding signs, chanting, standing up for themselves, and eventually getting comfortable. That's what I saw, is people were getting comfortable with what they were doing and expressing themselves, and cars were going by beeping at them and waving at them. Some of them were giving them the middle finger, others were beeping at them and excited, but eventually just the fear melted away. People got comfortable and believed in themselves.
We can't get a ballot initiative. The supermajority tells us what they want to do. But we're not going to stand for that. We're going to get out, we're going to vote, and we're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back.
It's just so good to see here in little southern Indiana, small town, and a lot of people standing up for women's rights. And, we've been talking about this today, how just 20 years of supermajority rule has got people upset with the state of things. And I think we're kind of finally reaching critical mass.
Yeah, I think, when we turn out, we win is a reality. And we're turning out in District 9 and my district. In Bloomington, Monroe, the numbers are that we're a third above in terms of turnout, 33% higher than we were in 2020. That's incredible that people are turning out at those rates. I've been in the Jeffersonville courthouse in Clark County the past couple of days. The wait today was 2.5 hours when I stopped over there. People around, coming out and snaking around outside the courthouse waiting, just record numbers and a lot of excitement. And the people I talked to, a lot of them say they're voting for Trump, but they're voting blue all the way down otherwise. I'm shocked, right, to be seeing that. And I'm not asking for that. They're telling me this. Because they're just upset with the local corruption here in Indiana 9, as well as just the more radical slate of candidates that's been put together that doesn't actually represent their values.
So we're here, right at the end. This thing's coming out the day before Election Day. How do you feel?
So optimistic. I'm laughing because I can't believe I said this to Andy Bashir today. He asked me, "How do you feel? What do you think?" He said, "Jennifer McCormick thinks that you are going to win." And I said, "I think I'm going to win too." It's mind blowing to think that. But if there were something called history and how we've been voting, and you look at this election, what's happening? You're looking at the turnout. You're looking at all the things that are happening for Indiana 9, including the local corruption with Jamie Knoll that has made people just so mad at the local GOP. The fact that Jamie gave money to my opponent, the fact that Erin Houchin just hasn't showed up. She doesn't want to debate, and she hasn't debated. The fact that Terry Gooden is a District 9 hero in the southern part of the district, and is on the candidate slate. The fact that we have a libertarian candidate with a strong gubernatorial libertarian candidate. Yeah. So a lot of those Republicans will pull down into my libertarian candidate. And just things keep coming. Clark and Floyd are the two other big counties for us, and I'm confident that we're going to flip them.
When we stand together, we win. We are bluesers and people from other states that have come to visit and stand with us. And we're telling our state that we're not going to take this anymore. We are going to stand up for the rights, not just for ourselves, but for people that we care about in our community. Hate has no home here. And we will not go back. We're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. My body. My choice. My body. My choice. We're not going back.
We're not going back.
We're not going
Oh, he's hot.
Hey, buddy. That giggle was brought to you by a pointing Spider-Man moment with Corinne Strait, comms pro, activist, and Indiana TikTok influencer who was also in Corydon on Saturday. It's been a pleasure to get to know and work with her these last couple months, and we'll be back together Tuesday with a special Who's Left election night live stream. Mark Gavart of My Labor Radio joins us, and that begins at 7 p.m. Eastern at youtube.com/@HoosLeft. We'll break down all the Indiana races with one eye on the national contests. Tears of joy or sorrow, cry them with your people. No both sides garbage here. And while I've got you, please consider supporting Who's Left with a paid subscription. I'd rather be dedicating my full energy to building a more democratic Indiana than turning over apartments, but that's what's currently paying the bills. There are so many more things I want to do here at Who's Left: more campaign finance research, more live hangouts, and a daily episode if we can get there, but that's where you come in. So if you can, visit scottaaronrogers.substack.com and subscribe at the paid level. For $5 a month or $50 a year, you can help me push our state in a better direction, and maybe if we reach critical mass, I can put down my tool belt and devote my full time to you, to this project, and to Indiana's future. Independent state and local media will be integral to vibrant pro-democracy networks. So if you have the means, pause right now, go to scottaaronrogers.substack.com and subscribe at the paid level. And while the best way to help this project is financially, if that doesn't work for your budget at this time, you can still help. Subscribe at the free level over on Substack. Set your favorite podcast player to auto-download new episodes of the show. Rate and review the show on whatever platform you use. This trains the algorithm to help new people find us. Follow me on social media on Facebook, Blue Sky, YouTube, and TikTok at Who's Left, that's HOOS Left, and on Instagram, Threads, and Twitter. I'm at ScottRog78, SCOTTROG78, and on Mastodon at ScottRog78 at Hoosier.social. Please subscribe on whichever platforms you use and send me a DM to discuss ideas for the project. But most importantly, spread the word. Forward the articles to friends, family, and colleagues. Don't just like, but share on social media. Invite others to our little corner of the Indiana left. And I might be the guy with the microphone, but I try to take this thing where your input leads me. So please, be generous with feedback. Good, bad, or whatever, I value it all. To those who have joined this community already, especially those paid subscribers, thank you for believing in me and in the Who's Left project. So, after marching around the square in downtown Corydon, protesters returned to party headquarters, adjacent to the lovely Bicentennial Park, where Harrison County Democratic Party Chairman Adam Snyder kicked off a series of speeches. Here, he is followed by Tim Peck and Sarah Blessing. I've got a cameo appearance, followed by Corinne. We've also got remarks from volunteer Kenna Lentz and organizer Benita Darst.
Well, it's my understanding that Louisville wasn't doing a march, so we stepped up and decided to do a march.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for stepping up with us and being here.
Somebody told him.
So I wear many hats here in Harrison County. I am the chair of the Harrison County Democratic Party. I'm also your candidate for Harrison County Recorder. I am here because even though I self-identify as male, women's rights are human rights. Women's rights are human rights. I'm also a gay man and co-founder of the Corydon Pride Festival. So I understand what it's like to be up against having your rights taken away. And we can't just fight for our own, my baby dog here, mister. We can't just fight for our own rights. We have to work together because together we're stronger.
Yes.
The other reason that I'm here today is because I'm not just a man, I'm a dad. And I'm not just a dad, I'm a girl dad. And my daughter today has less rights than her grandma had.
Yes.
And I don't want to see anything happen to her in the future when she decides to have a family or not. She needs to have health care. She needs to have safe health care. So that's why I'm here, for her and for our community. So since I'm the chair of the party, I know we have lots of candidates here. We don't have a lot of time for everyone to talk, but I want candidates to come up and at least introduce themselves. So with all candidates for office, come up here. Darling? All right. It takes a lot to stand up and say, I want to do public service for the community. It takes a lot to stand up and put yourself up to scrutiny and to hear people doing the thumbs down and flipping you off. Because it's the right thing to do, because public service is the right thing to do. We live in a community, not just one type of people, all types of people. And we all have to come together to make our community a better and safer place. So I want to thank all you candidates. We have Chris Glom here. She's running for county clerk. Brad Nagel is running for county commissioner. Cheryl Owens running for county council at large. You all know my good friend Sarah Blessing. And we are so blessed and pleased to have Tim Peck, who's running for 9th District. Please, if you haven't vote for these people. They are true public servants and they want to make our community a better place.
And you can also have one of these. We've got lots of them, and then you can see all our local candidates.
So Tim, I'm handing this microphone over to you, my friend.
Thank you, Adam. You're amazing. You've done an amazing job this year. The slate is full, except for one. That is an incredible feat to come to a point where you have one person on every single piece of running for office. So I want to start by saying my name is Tim Peck. I am running for Congress, U.S. Congress in Indiana 9, and we're going to win. And then secondly, I want everyone to turn around and say thank you to those people for exercising democracy. Thank you. Yeah, that is democracy. It is. Well, I'm Tim Peck. I'm running for everyone here who doesn't feel seen, who doesn't feel heard, who doesn't feel represented right now, especially here in Indiana 9, by our current representative, who does not show up, who will not debate me, who ignores your rights and will not answer your emails or your texts or your calls. Her name's Erin Houchin, and she has been in this last week in Georgia, in Indianapolis, and just recently came into district and now in Seymour right now. She hasn't been here in this crucial moment to be in front of us. What she's running off of are other people's laurels. She has not done any work. She has not passed any bills or written any bills of any substance for us. She does not deserve our vote. and I will talk about where you should put your vote. But Aaron Houchin does not deserve our vote, nor does anyone who does not show up. You all showed up today. You all stood on that main drag over there as people gave us the middle finger and other people clapped for us. You have done more for democracy than Aaron Houchin has done in this last 2 years. I live over in Clark County in New Washington on a 40-acre farm with my wife and my son. I'm an emergency doctor. I'm an entrepreneur, and I've done a lot of bipartisan work in Congress to get healthcare bills that make more access to healthcare and lessen our costs in Medicare. That's my history. And so I want to bring you to a story where my wife and I woke up the day after Harris was endorsed by Biden. And we went into the nursery to my 2-year-old, who was 1 at the time. And my wife crawled into Cass's crib, his name's Cass, and she put him on her lap. And I was on the rocker watching this and looked into his eyes, and he looked into hers, and she said, "Can you say Madam President?" And so I ask you, can you say Madam President? Can you say Madam Governor? Madam AG? Madam Senator? Madam State Rep? This election is about women, their providers, and the people who love all of them. We have a problem in this country that we can't seem to disagree and still make progress. It used to be something that we could do. And we need to get back to a place where we can actually move things forward. We've been in the worst 2 years of congressional history in terms of moving bills forward. And that'll come from standing up in what we believe in, but still finding a way to work with people who don't see the world the same way we do. And we are Democrats, we are strong, we are able to get yelled at, as you've seen today, and are able to compromise, to talk. And I'll do that for you in Congress, and we'll actually get some stuff done. As an emergency doctor, I've treated a lot of women. I've treated a lot of women who've been raped. And I've treated girls who've been raped. And treated women who would have died unless I treated them with an abortion. And never once when giving my counsel did I ever think about what the government had to say. The government does not belong in my exam room. So what we need from you all, this is get out the vote weekend, all right? We got some voters here, I'm pretty sure. But this is not about you and me right here. This is about the people who aren't at this rally right now. We need to go get them to the polls. They need to know that this is a winnable race. They need to know that our state races at the top are tied right now. It could come down to dozens of votes. It can come down to the person that you bring out to the polls. My race is razor thin right now. We need just a few more Democrats to come out to win this thing. And you all could be that. I know when we wake up on election day, we're going to win by such close margins that any one of us can point to any one event that we've gone to, that we put together like this, and say, maybe this was the event that pushed it over. This is an election where your vote absolutely counts, and you need to let those people out there who are saying, Indiana's a red state, we don't need to come out. We need to tell them that we can bring back balance, because this year we win. If we come out, we win. We fight, we win. Let's make Indiana blue again. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Okay, so I'm Sarah Blessing, and I'm running for Statehouse in District 70, which is all of Harrison County and parts of Floyd, Washington, and Clark. So a lot of you might be able to vote for me. I ran to help Tim Peck get elected and to help Jennifer McCormick get elected. I'm in a very heavily gerrymandered district. Doesn't matter. I'm not winning to win. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. But I'm going to also run again in 2 years. I am a former teacher. I taught 5th grade for 18 years, and I quit during the pandemic to raise my twins and my 14-year-old. And I got really depressed really fast because teaching is wonderful, and you get to do a lot of good teaching. And I was like, oh, I have to help my community or I'm not a happy person. So I got involved with the local Harrison County Democrat Party. I met Adam, and I met the volunteers, and they taught me so much. And I ran for county council 2 years ago. And now I tried to find somebody to run for a state house. I kept trying to find somebody to run against Karen Engelman, and nobody would do it. Nobody was on the primary ballot, and I was like, that's it, I'm gonna do it. So I called up my friends, I called up Tim Peck, I called up Adam Dickey, and they helped me get on the ballot. Adam had to do a bunch of work, and here I am. Yeah. And this is how we do this, okay? It doesn't matter whether I win or not. I'm helping. I'm on the ballot. I've talked to, 10,000 people, thousands and thousands of people, and got them to vote for Jennifer McCormick and for Tim and for myself. I've met hundreds of amazing people that are working to get Democrats elected in Indiana. It's amazing. You guys, when you are at home thinking we're mostly Republican and we have no hope and we have all these extremists and we're just stuck, that is not true. There are so many of us fighting for you. And you coming here, you're fighting with us. And this matters. And we are going to hopefully win in Indiana. Hopefully we're gonna get a female governor. That's pretty amazing. And not only a female governor, but a very well qualified one. She would be incredible. And we can get Tim Peck elected, and he can flip this district, which would be huge. It will make national news. McCormick winning, Tim Peck winning. Let's do this. I need you all to call up, to text, to message anybody that hasn't voted yet. Make sure they're voting. Make sure they know where to vote. Make sure they know who to call if they have any questions, and they can get a hold of me and I will help. We can do this. A lot of what we need to do is just get the word out to people that think we don't have hope. We have to have hope. You all, I almost died giving birth, okay? I had a triplet pregnancy and one didn't make it, and I have twins now, and I almost died. And this was before when we had our rights to health care. You think I'm gonna sit back and let us continue not having this right? And I'm gonna let my daughter not have this right? Your daughters, your granddaughters? No way. Are you guys gonna sit back and let this continue? No. No. So don't lose hope. Keep fighting. We can do this. I think we might do this Tuesday. What do you all think? Yeah. I want to talk about Scott Aaron Rogers. He's coming up next. He is my friend. I met him at the delegates convention in Indy, and he has his own podcast called HoosLeft. And if you have your phones out, I encourage you to get it out. And if you listen to podcasts, go ahead and subscribe to it. It's on all the places. If you're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, it's either Scott Aaron Rogers or HoosLeft. This man has been working tirelessly to help all of us. He interviewed me several months ago, like a long hour interview. He interviewed Tim Peck. It just came out on Monday. He's interviewed Jennifer McCormick. This man is doing a lot to help us because in those episodes on his podcast, he is explaining how we save Indiana. And I have learned a lot for him because if I ever win, I'm going to have some power and I can help pass some laws to actually help us instead of hurt us. And us working together, we're all getting on his podcast. We're all talking. We're all working together. This is how we do it. We don't need a ton of money. That's free. It didn't cost me a dime. We don't need your money. We can do this because you all care. So you listening to him helps us, and you will learn more, and it's entertaining. Like, I just listened to Tim's episode. It was fantastic. Also, I just want to shout out Corinne. Corinne Straight is on TikTok. Anybody on TikTok, please follow her. She has like 22,000 followers, and she just posts videos about Indiana democracy and how to save it. And I've learned a lot from her. She's incredible. So follow her too. And they're working together for an event. I think Scott's going to talk about it in a minute. I'm pretty excited about it. So please welcome my friend, Scott Aaron Rogers. And thank you guys. Let's do this.
Thank you, Sarah. That was the best ad I could have hoped for. I need to say nothing. Like, I'm just. But seriously, now after Dobbs a couple years ago, I didn't know what to do. I mean, like, I'm a guy. It doesn't affect me personally, but I've got a wife. I've got a 16-year-old daughter, and they don't have the rights that my mother and my grandmother had. And that's not right. So, you know, they tell you to donate your time, talent, or treasure to a political cause, and I don't have any treasure, but I have a little bit of time and enough talent to put a podcast together. So I've met such incredible people. I named the podcast Who's Left, like Hoosier left, but also it's a play on words. Like, is there anybody left in this state who is willing to fight? We are not a hopelessly conservative, hopelessly red state. We are a purple state, Destiny Wells says, with a turn-up problem. And I've seen a lot of Hoosiers out here, and I've met so many great people that are fighting to turn this state around because they love Indiana, I love Indiana, and all of you guys, I know mainstream media has been maybe not serving us as well as they could this midterm, so us little independent media folks are going to put together a little election night watch party. We're going to do live analysis and break down all the races. We're going to focus on Indiana, but we're going to keep an eye on the national stuff too. That's going to be Tuesday on YouTube, 7 Eastern, youtube.com/@HoosLeft. And my podcast buddy, Corinne Strait, is going to be with me there that night. I'm going to turn this thing over to her.
Oh my gosh, isn't that going to be a time? Oh. All right, hopefully I can get a nap in earlier in the day. Well, thank you so much, Scott and Sarah and Tim, for having me here. If y'all don't know who I am a TikTok person, apparently. Which is so weird to say because it's not a real job. But I am somebody, I am born and raised in Indiana. I'm originally from Northwest Indiana, and I am somebody just like all of you that heard my entire life, it doesn't matter, don't vote, stay home, it doesn't matter. And I honestly felt that. I kept voting. I went every single freaking time and just kind of like trudged through, and I'm like, well, I did it again. Something felt different this year. It was actually in July, which I think is the first TikTok I made that actually anybody gave a crap about. I was out on one of my country walks where I just like Forrest Gump it. I just walk away from my house till I want to turn around, then I turn around and go back home. And I was catching up on the news, and it was the speech when Donald Trump was speaking to Turning Point USA, and he said, vote one more time for me, Christians, and you won't have to vote for me again, which, as most things that he says, was just nonsense. But I didn't really know what it meant. But what really bothered me is that I know Christians. I was raised by Christians. I was raised as a Christian. And although I'm not a practicing Christian anymore, I know that man does not speak for them. And that disgusting exploitation of someone else's faith for political gain just struck me. And I literally just hopped off the road and I stood in a cornfield and I said, I am a white lady from Indiana. I am in a cornfield. And even I know that man does not speak for you. So when's the Zoom, Christians? Because that was at the time that so many people were mobilizing for Kamala Harris after her endorsement came out. And that was a moment for me. So many people, I think because I said Indiana, the TikTok algorithm did its thing. And by that night, thousands of people had commented and said, I'm in Indiana too. Oh my gosh, I'm here too. We're here, we're here, we're here. Yes, we are here. Yes, we are here. And I spent a lot of time, especially in my TV days. I do have a political science background. In my television days, I covered the legislature in both Indiana and in Michigan. And I have just had such a keen understanding of the power of state legislatures. especially in a presidential election where that is taking up a lot of the energy in the room. Our state legislature is much more instrumental in our day-to-day lives than the president. And even to our folks up there who are supporting Trump in 2024, we see you. We see you.
Yeah.
Love Trump all you want. Love Kamala Harris all you want. I sincerely hope, and I'm doing everything I can to make sure she is our next president. However, even if Kamala Harris is our next president, it is going to take a concerted effort in the state of Indiana to consistently undo the harm that has been done by this state legislature over the last 20 years. And that's for all of y'all. That is for the Trump voters, that is for the red voters, the blue voters, everybody. What we see is the numbers, right? When people come into my comments on TikTok and they tell me that I'm crazy and I'm delusional, I say, you know what? Probably am both of those things, but I'm not wrong. Because even though, like I said, political science major, never great at math, I see the data. We are not a hopelessly red state. Nope. Our congressional delegation is 82% Republican. Our state legislature is 73% Republican, and that does not represent the people of Indiana. Even the people over there holding their Trump signs are being harmed by the Republican supermajority in Indiana. Our economics are down, our wages are down, our educational outcomes are down, our healthcare outcomes are down. In the 2 years nationwide since Roe v. Wade has been overturned, infant mortality is up 7%. And I would love to hear somebody explain to me how that is pro-life. It absolutely is not pro-life. Here in the state of Indiana, we have a real opportunity to turn this around. And the fact that I was able to start making TikToks and meet all of you, it showed what a void that was there for all of us. The number of years that we have heard over and over and over again that we don't matter, that liberals don't matter, that moderates don't matter, that progressives don't matter, that starts to seep into our brains and we start to believe it. And our voter turnout numbers illustrate that. The Democratic apathy that has kept Republicans in power in this state very much helps them. And I've even said this a few times in this election, is like, okay, they don't want you to vote. How does that make you feel? And people say, oh, that pisses me off. And I said, as it should. And even if it's spite that brings you to the polls, I'll take it. If it's hope that brings you to the polls, I'll take it. I don't care what we're running on, whether it's anger, hope, or spite, we have to get out the vote. Because like we were all saying out there, when we vote, we win. When we fight, we win. The numbers are there. We know the numbers are there. That's why Tim is running and Sarah is running. We know the numbers are there. I am so encouraged by this turnout and this group of people. Like I said, the fact that I could get on TikTok and start making videos, and so many people can say, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I thought I was alone. And I'm like, I thought I was alone. You all have helped me. You all have helped me more than you will ever know. I am so grateful that the Indiana political crap that has been rattling around in my head for at least a couple of decades now is helpful in some way. I want to remind everyone that Tuesday is not the end of anything. Yeah. Tuesday is our big moment. Yes, we are all looking forward to seeing these victories on Tuesday. But in my head, right, that's the first lap. It's the first period, it's the first act, like whatever metaphor you want to use, it's just the beginning. When we look at the harm that has been done in the state of Indiana, both in our legislature and to our congressional delegation, that has been done through very strategic Republican gerrymandering and partisan redistricting. Our state legislature is unbelievably powerful. They draw those borders for the state level and for the Congress. In 2030, that is when the next U.S. Census will be conducted, which means all state legislatures are redrawing their boundaries in 2031. That is the long game that I want us to focus on as blue voters in Indiana. We've got 4 election cycles. 2024 is the first one. And guess what? No matter what happens, we got to get up and do this again in 2 years, okay? Yep. So we don't have much downtime, all right? These elections come around, you're like, oh, didn't we just do this? It's like, yeah, we just did it, but we got to do it again. This energy is 24, 2026, 2028, 2030, and beyond. We are done with apathy. We are done believing the narrative that we don't matter because we know it's not true. This is a representation that it's not true. So thank you all. I hope y'all are going to keep playing the long game with me. And I tell y'all all the time on TikTok that our vote matters, your vote matters. And now that we know that, we're going to keep acting accordingly for 2024 and then some. So thank y'all.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Keep talking, because while you talked before, you scored 2 touchdowns. Keep talking.
You're welcome. What can you guys do to help? Thank you for coming today. I'm seeing a lot of new faces, or people that I've met online, or people that I've met campaigning, and we would love to have you get more involved. So Adam and Cheryl and Chris and I, we are part of and Virginia, we're part of this leadership team with the Harrison County Democrats. We would love to have your help. Our next meeting is the Tuesday after the election, right, Adam? Yes. So the Tuesday after the election, we are meeting here at 7 o'clock. We're also bringing all of our yard signs. So if you have yard signs, bring them back. We'll keep them, and then we'll pull them back out when we need them again.
Yard signs do no good in there right now.
Right. Also, that's another big thing. Please take the yard signs that are in here and put them in your yard. We only have a few more days. Tim Peck's yard signs keep getting stolen. Mine are also getting stolen. We're having a lot. Harris probably the worst getting stolen, but I'm surprised they're taking his big, giant, expensive ones that take some work to pull up out of the yard. So they are scared. They should be, because he has a giant chance of winning.
And it's not just in one county.
Yeah, multiple counties are getting. It's a coordinated effort to take Tim's signs. So please, we have lots of Tim signs. Show your signs, Tim. Tim got these made for today. Women Pick Peck. Yes, we do. So please get those signs, and then we have tons of McCormick, and then please come to our next meeting. So get your phones out, put it on your calendar so you don't forget. On Monday, what time do they need to come? Monday at 2. It's every month. Once a month, we help with the community meal. The Presbyterian Church in Corydon, every Monday they put on a meal, and we help with it once a month. And we would love to have helpers. If you would like to help with that, come see Virginia. It's amazing that we're able to do this. So how many people do they feed? Usually 200?
We did 248 last time.
248 last time. So people are hungry in our county, and we need to help them. So if you want to help with that community meal, it's this coming Monday before the election. Yep. And see Virginia. Also, if you didn't write down your email in here, we can sign you up for Harrison County Democrat newsletters, and then you'll know all of our events. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. So please share that stuff. Share this event. If you took pictures, please share it. If you want to get a picture of candidates and of us and try to help us get the word out, my friends on Facebook definitely know about me, but your friends don't. So please take a picture on your phone of us and post it and get the word out, because we only have a couple more days. What else did I need to mention? Anybody got anything else? We have, what? We'll do a big group picture whenever I say we're done. Good job, that's a great call. Right in front of headquarters, let's do that. And then, yes. Yes, great idea.
Talk about this. So we just want to tell you about a couple numbers about what's going on in the district right now, so you can have some hope, because there's a lot of hope to be had. So for District 9, it's 18 counties, okay? Bloomington all the way over to the Ohio border, down the river to here and back up to Bloomington. And Bloomington is our bluest city, and Monroe County. Woo! And Monroe County, and they are have turned out 28,000 people as of yesterday to the polls already. That's in comparison to 21,000 only 4 years ago. So that's 33% higher. And that doesn't include the absentee ballots. That is enormous, and that's like adding a blue county to our district. And again, we have a turnout problem in Indiana, and we're going to use that to our advantage because we're going to turn out and they're not, and we're going to win this race. I also want to tell you about Clark County. We follow the numbers very closely of who's shown up to the polls. We look at the data that we have to say, do they lean Democrat, Republican? And it's about 60-40 Democrat right now, still. And they're having record numbers. Floyd is about 50-50. And so we are thrilled about those 3 counties that we need to win this thing, and we're almost there. When we modeled, I'm gonna give you a goal. When we modeled to win, we wanted Bloomington to come out at 70%. They're on track to come out at 80. When we modeled, we said we wanted to flip Clark. Looks like we're going to flip Plus. When we modeled, we wanted to flip Floyd. Looks like we're going to get close or get there. With Corydon and Harrison, we said we needed to lose by 5% less. What I've seen over the last year, we are going to lose by a lot less than 5% less. And so that means just get a few people out and we can win this thing. It's so vital that you get just 1 or 2 more people out and we will win this thing. It is so winnable. I can't tell you that again enough. It is winnable, it is winnable, it is winnable. Let's go out and win.
Yes, we are going to win this. We can do this. Okay, so you can also follow us all on social media. I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook. Sarah Blessing for Statehouse 70. Tim, yours is what's yours? Tim Peck for Congress? Facebook? Tim Peck for Congress on Facebook. TikTok?
Tim Peck for Con.
Tim Peck for Con. C-O-N. I'm just Sarah Blessing on TikTok, or Sarah Blessing 0. And then Corinne Straight on TikTok. And then Harrison County Democrats, that's a really big one. We've got a big audience. Whenever we post stuff, we get attention on there. I do a lot of lives right there. Harrison County Dem Facebook Live. Chris is filming it for me. So you can watch this. You can share it on yours. You can go to your Facebook, find us, click share. A bunch of other people can see this. This is how we do this. We get out the vote. We get out the motivation. Anything else before we do the group picture?
I want to real quick.
Oh yes, Kenna, come and say it, girl. Kenna is one of our organizers. She's also a friend of mine.
So yesterday I was trying to think about something to give as a memento for everyone coming out. Doesn't have to be anything expensive or whatnot, but I kept racking my brain. So what do? I just go to the store and walk and wander. And I was at Joann's Fabric in Clarksville, and this lady walked by and she had a be the change. And it just brought a smile to my face. And I walked up and I was like, I love your shirt. She's like, thank you. And then I saw she had an I voted sticker, and I said, but I love that even more. And she was like, thank you. She said, I've got something for you. She opens up her purse, so I'm like, okay, what is she doing? And then she pulls out a pill bottle, like an aspirin bottle with no label. Then I was like, really, what is she doing? And then she pulls out a glass little vial. Then I'm like, oh, hell, what is going on? And she gives me a little glass vial that has a little seed in it. And she said something about something that I forgot years ago about a mustard seed of faith can move a mountain. And I'm not gonna lie, I just broke down. I broke down crying, gave her a big hug. Found out she had been battling brain cancer. And it still come back, but she still had that joy in her heart, was happy to vote. And I went to the Dollar Tree and bought these vials and sat there yesterday and put a little mustard seed in every jar, because every one of you all coming out today, we didn't know if it would be 10 people, 20 people, and I was like, oh God, we're having Corinne drive all the way down, and Tim's coming. Benita was scared to death because I was trying to do the Million Woman March, and she was like, I was hoping for 10. I think we had 100 or so, but this was great. And just you guys coming out, just having that little faith in the little ones. Oh my God, leading the chance. What an inspiration. So I want you guys to take this with you, and we'll have them right here in the door. Come grab you one and grab a couple, give to someone, because even in the darkest times, Just a little bit of faith will keep us moving forward. So we won't go back.
Benita, where are you? Benita, we wouldn't have been able to do this without Benita. Did you want to say anything? So I want to thank her because I'm a little busy, but so they really did a lot of this.
Yeah, so when I did this, I thought if 10 people come out in Corydon, it would be a great thing. And you all just proved me wrong, thank you. So I'm right there with more hope. After seeing this today, I really appreciate that, you all. I did buy red lipsticks, and there are some in there, and I would love for you to take them away when you go, they're just not all red. But we got the red lipstick because of the history of red lipstick and women's rights. And it goes back quite a way. And what happened is during World War II, it was before that, but what happened during World War II is Hitler apparently did not like red lipstick and banned it in Germany. And so women in the United States started wearing red lipstick as they filled the factories and worked on the war effort. And so it was a sign of women's strength, and that's why we used it on our walk. So please take some with you when you go. Thank you.
All right, everybody, come on over for a group picture, and then we have food and snacks that you can get before you go. And please take signs and literature. Love you all. Thanks for coming.
After the ceremonies, I got to sit down and talk a little bit with a few of the folks down in the Kentuckiana region working to make Indiana a better place. First, I spoke with candidate for Harrison County Clerk, Christine Glom. Then, you'll hear a classic local commercial from late Corydon pharmacy Butt Drugs, followed by my aside with Indiana Statehouse District 70 candidate Sarah Blessing.
I'm Chris Glom. I'm running for county clerk. I've been doing this now for how long, but I still get roll off the tongue.
I haven't had a county clerk candidate yet. Up in Monroe County, it's like very blue. It's not
Right.
So, well, let's talk. Tell us a little bit about your campaign. So, what prompted you to get in?
Yeah. The reason I got into the campaign was because we didn't have anybody in the primary, and I had to think long and hard. I've been retired for 4 years. I'm a retired postal worker, and it's a lot of going back full time is a little daunting in and of itself. Hard being a but I thought, well, it's a job I could do. It's you deal with people a lot, which I really enjoy. So I went ahead and threw my hat in the ring, and as they say, here I am, and it's been exciting. I also work in the bar across the street.
Oh, yeah, I was wondering what to do when we get out of here tonight. Is that a place to go?
Well,
it's a place to go.
It's a place to go. Again, we're in a very red county, very red. That's a very red place. And I have had several of my customers come up to me and say, I voted for you. I had one gentleman who made me laugh. He said I had to really hold my arm and try and get that over there, but I filled in the circle, and I've had a lot of people come up to me just upset,
Yeah.
That's always been the biggest thing, is that people are just very upset. I had a gentleman come in, he said that he had some issues and he couldn't get a hold of Aaron Township, he couldn't get a hold of Karen Engelman, who's his state rep. And he said, I don't want to vote for them. I voted, that's the first time I voted Democrat, and you voted Democrat. And he said, I voted for you. And I said, no, I didn't vote for me. And he goes, yes, I did, because he wanted to get rid of everybody appointed to the county court case. So it's exciting. It's been exciting. It's been very, of course, the mood changed, and I'm sure you've noticed it too when county came.
So much, yeah.
And it's just, 2 years ago, I ran for the Township Advisory Board. Really, we were all like, yeah, this is exciting. But this year's been just, it's exciting. So we had our friends across the way here.
Yes.
when we were down the street, we had a lot of corn hunting, we've had a lot of things. We have a local Heritage Fest. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's in Lanesville.
I've heard, yeah.
And we were very surprised. This last year, people would walk by and they'd go, they'd put all thumbs up and they'd, be like, this year people were in our booth. They were exchanging, we were talking. I think it got Harris Wall sign. I'll walk out, but that very won't care. That was what probably the biggest difference was that people were actually, we would be, do you want us to hold on to that green chair while you're walking right now? No, I'm taking it. And they had to walk right past the Republicans to get out and with those wall signs. And I know that they saw all those signs walking by, and you can see them out here. We've never had I don't remember seeing signs like that out this year. So it's very exciting. And like Sarah said earlier, and even Tim, we don't hold out a whole lot of hope. But if I make a competitive race, if it's a competitive race, that's all we need.
This is one of the things I talked about. I had David Pepper on this summer, and he very much talks about how important it is, even in races at the local level where maybe it's Republicans are going to run away in debates. It's important to have somebody that that can go out there and talk up the whole ticket, because, like you said, you're interacting with folks around here who maybe didn't always know who might be.
Yep.
So now they know a Democrat, and
we don't have orange. We don't have we're not all, and we're not all like take with a liberal.
I think. You pinpointed it when Joe dropped out and Kamala stepped in to take his the dread kind of the fear went away, and I think people now are like, you know what, we're not afraid. We're tired of your bullying.
Yes.
We're ganging up. We're teaming up together to take us.
Right.
We're going to take you down.
And we've had like everybody's signs in our yard, and of course being a postal worker, the Hatch Act really tied our hands to do anything. So once I retired, it brought everything, and now my husband retired, and we are just all in signs everywhere, signs on our yard, signs. It's been an experience. I will say it's been an experience. I've met so many people, and it's just the energy in this area. I've gone with Sarah Blessing to some events, and just the energy is just so different. It's been amazing.
And is this just this year, you think?
Yeah.
That's.
I've never been like this. Never. It's not, people going out in public and being willing to talk to people, and even the people who, one issue voters, what I'll call them, and I understand that I'm not going to get them, but they also talk, and we have a pleasant discussion, but then it comes back down to that one issue.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Again, like we were saying today with our friends across the street, this is what democracy is, and I had to settle, stop arguments on my Facebook page, And God, thank you very much. I value your opinion, which it is. It's your opinion, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, but don't bring that meanness.
And I'm not happy with that. I don't go around, I don't go around ripping out Trump signs or anything. You might say something.
But yeah, I might put up a certain finger every time I go by one. But, So it sounds like you feel good. You've got good feelings going.
I do. I really, people keep asking me how my race is going, and I mean, I can't, we don't do polls, but
Then Nick Silver's not projecting your race.
I just with the interaction with the people and people saying that I'm not usually vote for a Democrat and they're voting for it gives me hope. And again, I don't have any I feel that it's the weirdest thing. When I got into the race, it was like, okay, I'm in here, and then it's just gotten to the point where, man, this might be close. Like this might be close. And like Tim said, if we can just narrow that gap a little bit and keep it up. And then again, the biggest thing is we're at a party, especially here in Harrison County. We're at a point that we're excited, you're coming, you can feel the energy, and again, it's going to be to have to carry this through. And exactly like, I'm sorry, I can't even remember the TikTok.
Corinne. Yeah.
It's like she said, we have to keep this going. We have to keep this going into the next year, and then into the next year, and then into the next year. And I think people now are going to be less afraid to throw their hat into the race. They'll be less afraid to run for office. Yeah. Because they saw we survived. And, and people didn't attack us, at least not yet. And, that's why Kamala has to.
And well, also, like she said, Tuesday is not the end of anything.
No,
it's not the end of this either. I mean, yes, it's the first day of the post-election shenanigans, which are coming.
I just tried it. But I'm just going to keep my something. And like the energy, it's just and that makes it exciting.
It's just so good. I've never been down here before. It's my first time. And,
well, welcome.
Yeah.
The state doesn't end at Seymour. That's what I tell everybody. I think my daughter, both my kids went to Franklin College, and my son went for 2 years. And when we went up there, and they're like, "And where are you from again?" Oh, it's right to First Capital. And I was like, "No, we're not so funny." Exactly. Come down, come smile over 50.
Yeah, it's. I never get down this way. If I'm going to the city, I'm going up to Hickey, usually down here. What, for a couple of years or so. But it's such a beautiful time.
Oh, it is. And there's so much to do around here. And then, in fact, if you go, even in our Wall Street at Santa Claus and everything, we travel the southern part quite often. And I did when I worked too. I was in Evansville a lot. But yeah, it's wonderful. It really is a great area. It's beautiful. And this year it's been gorgeous. The leaves have been unbelievable.
Yeah, we just missed them. We were talking about
yes, last week it was so gorgeous. Just the rain. Rain took it away.
Yeah, there were some great places where this would have been a tunnel of leaves.
Yeah. I hear you.
We're sad to learn that the one place we really wanted to visit was
yeah. Maybe the new people who moved in there would be very crazy. They were supposed to open today. It was very sad. It was our little thing.
Yeah. The jingles.
I know.
There's a cry across the heartland, a yearning for the days gone by. And in little old Corydon, Indiana, they're happy and they'll tell you why. They got butt drugs, they love butt drugs, butt drugs, butt drugs.
I recommend butt drugs for everybody. I can always count on butt drugs. When I think drugs, I think butt drugs. For all my health needs, I turn to butt drugs.
You want hometown service, cheap hot coffee, and liquor. Now that's the ticket. You can tell Walmart, CVS, and Walgreens exactly where to stick it. Butt drugs.
We love butt drugs. Butt drugs won't let you down.
Free parking in the rear.
I love butt drugs.
Welcome, live and in person, Sarah Blessing. Welcome back.
So, Scott, I emailed you like a month ago, and I was like, "Hey, crazy idea! You want to film a podcast and come down to Corydon?" And you were like, "Let me ask my wife."
Yeah, I gotta ask the boss.
So I just want to say thank you. Thanks for coming down.
I'm so glad. I'm glad we did this. I'm glad I got a chance to come here and meet you in person and meet Corinne in person after working with her a couple times, and Dr. Peck, who I just talked to recently. Just such a great turnout today. Down here in this red state of Indiana, right?
Not a red state.
Not anymore.
Purple state. And we're going to see that on Tuesday. It might take a couple days. I don't know if I can, but it's happening. So, Scott, when we had our interview, what was it, 2 months ago maybe?
Boy,
I think it's 2 months.
They all were together.
I think it was 2 months ago. I was like, I don't have any chance of winning. I'm barely getting anything out. I'm barely raising any money. And the momentum, the enthusiasm, and the amount of attention I've gotten since our last podcast has really blown me away. And I literally have a therapist that I talk with every 2 weeks, and it's like, well, guess what? It's overwhelming. It's overwhelmingly good, but it's overwhelming. Help my brain catch up to how much attention we're getting down here, because I need some help with it. So you guys that are listening, have some faith and some hope, and come out and vote and spread the word, because down here in Southern Indiana, it's huge. Have you talked about the Jamie Knoll stuff on your podcast?
We haven't done a good Knoll deep dive, just because, I've been focused on candidates for this election and stuff, and it's been super exciting, but in a way, it's kind of constrained our ability to dive into things, and Knoll and his ties to everybody down here.
So the Jamie Knoll corruption, that trial just ended 2 Mondays ago, and this might end up getting Jennifer McCormick elected. It might end up getting Tim Peck elected, because people in Southern Indiana, especially Clark County, are very mad about it. And I am so glad that he was finally stopped. But did you know he was doing corrupt things for 22 years in our government?
Yeah.
22 years, you guys. And a lot of people knew about it. Hundreds of people knew that this guy that was sheriff, that was Republican chair of District 9 in Clark County, hundreds of people knew he was corrupt and taking money. And nobody in a position of power stopped it.
What are you going to do, tell the sheriff?
And there were people trying, like my friend Sean Bostock tried, and he's pretty famous for doing his own local journalism thing. People tried. People were hurt for trying. People were kicked off the ballot if they tried to go up against him. He made sure nobody got on that Republican ticket that he didn't approve of. And now we're at this point where the people in office that have been in office while Jamie Knoll was in power, which was until very recently, they either were in on it, they let it happen because they were scared, or they were not intelligent enough to realize what was going on. So in my opinion, we need to get rid of all of those people. We need to elect much, much better people to clean up the corruption. So even though Jamie Knoll has been arrested and he's in jail now, the amount of people that were friends with him, that helped him do what he needed to do to hurt so many people. He stole $5 million of taxpayer money. People died because of his positions in ambulance services, because he took over and made it. He had control of the ambulances and did a bad job giving people care. So when people called 911, it took a really long time, and then people came without the appropriate things. It's really terrible. And they still have bad ambulance services over the county, by the way. It's still not fixed. So because of all of that, we really need to vote those people out. And that's why when Tim Peck was talking at the rally about high voter turnout in Clark County, well, I've been meeting those people because I've got 2 townships in Clark, and they know what's going on, and they are mad, and they are voting for change. So you guys need to know about it, because what is happening in Southern Indiana will help Democrats get elected at the state level. I'm upset that he was able to be in power for so long. Like, it's really upsetting.
It's that Indiana Republican machine is a powerful force.
You know, I've met lots of people that were friends with him, and you want to know something that is new information to me that until I ran as a candidate, I really didn't understand this. I meet people that knew Jamie Knoll, and he was great to them, and he helped them, and he did favors for them, and he gave them things with his $5,000 that he had, and he took them on trips. And people on his side, if you did what he wanted, he loved you and treated you great. And that is the piece we are not talking about enough. These people that are corrupt, they seem really nice, but guys, if other people are saying, but he did this mean thing to me, don't discard it. I think that's human nature. We kind of gotta look into it. So I just want to warn people about that, because have you all met dangerous people? Because I have. I've had a bad boss, principal. I know some people in our local government that are bad. They're really nice to some people. That's the part we're missing.
Especially something as high up like a district chair is very much all about managing people and relationships and cultivating certain people and stringing certain people along, and it's you can see how it's hard to be a person with integrity in politics.
Yes. And it takes a lot to run against that. Like my person, I'm up against Caitlin. She was Jamie Knoll approved. A lot of money dumped into her race. The Republican Party has so much money. A lot of that money comes from the Jamie Knoll stuff, which seems ridiculous to me that we haven't done something about that. Mm-hmm. We have not. And yeah, he really handpicked who went on that primary ballot, and then he made sure those people won. And then you look at the Democrats, the other side. So our District 9 chair is Adam Dickey.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy. Thankfully, I'm friends with him because I needed to get on the ballot really quickly. It was really hard, and he helped me. He got me on the ballot, and he didn't handpick me. I decided to do this. So, you see the differences. And the chair of the Harrison County Party, you met him today, Adam Snyder, really nice man. And that's why I work for Harrison County Democrats, because we don't make money for volunteers. So you see the differences. On our side, we got loving people that are brave, that are working really hard for our rights. On the other side, you got these scary, controlling people, picking people so that they will obey them. And that's really what we're up against nationally, locally, statewide. It's all the same story of these controlling people.
Yeah, they're like a pyramid scheme over there, and it's very much grassroots. Yeah, person to person, democratic.
But we've gotten so much smarter at our grassroots stuff, like your podcast, social media, a bunch of groups like Hoosier Action, those coalitions. What's the one for Women's Choice Coalition? I can't remember the name of it. I think it's Our Choice Coalition. All these groups that have got together and are helping candidates and helping get the issues out. You see grassroots organizing in Indiana, and especially in Southern Indiana, really working. I am so pumped to keep going after Tuesday. Don't worry, whatever happens on Tuesday, we're still here. You're still going to make this podcast, right?
Yeah, damn right.
I'm still going to be working. I'm going to be doing even more because I got all these plans for organizing and helping other counties fill up people on the ballot on the Democratic ticket, because right now we have so many blanks in rural areas. So I'm going to help with that. I'm going to work with Tim Peck. I'm going to work with Adam Dickey. We're going to keep doing this, and we're going to make our state better, whether they want us to or not.
We really have to have our eyes focused in Indiana, I think, on 2030. Like what we were saying out there, and finding ourselves in a place where we'll be able to draw the district lines in a fair way.
Oh, that's such a big deal, because I'm in such a heavily gerrymandered district. I'm interested to see the numbers on Tuesday. But they have just to make it so rural.
They know what street. Yeah,
they know what street. Oh, do you know what they did in Corydon? Since we're in Corydon, you guys have got to hear this. This is interesting. So, the GOP chair in Harrison County, Scott Clerk, he helped gerrymander Corydon. They were worried about the Democratic leaders 2 years ago when we were running for Corydon Town Council, and they gerrymandered our little town, our beautiful town of Corydon. They put all of our people, all of our strong leaders in the same district.
Classic.
And then guess what?
Yeah.
The Corydon Town Council is 100% Republican. So it might have been 100% Republican anyway, even if they didn't heavily gerrymander it. But you guys, you hear of gerrymandering at a national, a state, but even at a town level, these people are doing this. So not only have they gerrymandered District 70 for my race, but our town. And they even took out people when Graylin Porter ran for county council 2 years ago. She lives in Corydon and she knows a ton of people in Corydon, so they were really worried that she was going to win. So they gerrymandered her district for county council. They took her street and they put it with Lanesville and Elizabeth, where she didn't know as many people. So then we had Adam Snyder, our chair, run. He's from Lanesville, but he's known in Corydon too. So we had him run to try to balance it out, but nobody won 2 years ago. We lost everything. So it's 100% Republican Harrison County for now. It's going to change eventually.
Sneaky. So sneaky. That's gross.
They're so sneaky. It's disgusting.
All that tomfoolery is going to come home to roost.
We need to get that fixed, either at a state level or a national level. We've got to fix gerrymandering. It is such a huge problem. Stopping democracy, stopping the people from actually getting what they want. We have to fix this. It is our big problem. And until then, the candidates that run, like myself, we're just going to work overtime and meet as many rural people. My race doesn't end on Tuesday. I'm running again in 2 years. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to meet as many people in my district as I can, keep my name out there, and just keep going. And then in 2 years, let's see if I can do it. We'll try. So until we fix gerrymandering, this is what we got to do, because I'm not going to just sit and let the state get terrible.
Damn right. Thank you for fighting. Thank you for doing your thing.
Thanks for doing your stuff. I'm glad we're friends. Yeah, and thanks for coming.
Absolutely. Thanks, Sarah.
That was my dear friend Sarah Blessing. Next, a quick word from Crawford County Democratic Party Chair Andra Cranford, followed by the conclusion of my one-on-one with Dr. Tim Peck.
Nice to have you on. Introduce yourself for the people.
Hi, my name is Andrea Cranford. I am Crawford County Democrat chairperson. I'm also on Dr. Valerie McRae's team. I am the District 9 field manager. So I help set up events, get people out to vote, and talk to them. So whatever needs to be done in the district. And then I just took over, of course, Crawford County.
It sounds like you wear a lot of hats. Thank you for doing all this work that you're doing for democracy inside.
Thank you for having me here.
How do you feel about Tuesday? What do the vibes feel like? You're out there. You're talking to people all the time. You feel good? You feel nervous?
A bit of both. I feel good as far as the nation. As far as my county, it's kind of an iffy. Not sure. That's hard to kind of guess on that. But our state and our nation, I'm feeling really good about.
Me too. Yeah, feeling good about the vibes, and Sarah was down here just a minute ago. We were talking about how hard it is down here in counties where gerrymandered and things are rigged, and that's why it's so in the face of those odds. People like you are out there building a foundation to really bring this party fully back to life in these areas where it's sort of been abandoned, and really be a force to reckon with over the next decades.
Hearing a lot of people in Crawford County tell me that they thought the Democratic Party was dead in Crawford County. They didn't know there was anything else going on. So, I really want to change that and change the whole outlook and what we can do for our community.
Well, where can people find out more information about you and the Crawford County Democrats?
It's Crawford County, Indiana Democrats and Friends on Facebook. We don't have anything for TikTok yet. That will be coming soon. We are going to be working on doing a newsletter. That's in progress. But so far, it's just the Facebook. Crawford County, Indiana Democrats and Friends.
Great. Well, you know what? If you need anything from me at HoosLeft, you let me know. I'll be happy to have you on anytime to talk about what you're doing, or anybody you want to send my way.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Let's stop by.
Yeah.
It's been a long way here, huh? And it's going to feel good. I think. I imagine Tuesday to just be able to breathe again.
It's been a long year. It has been a long year. I had a date with my wife on Wednesday night, and so if we win, there's going to be press. If we get close, there's going to be press. But they don't get those 3 hours during my date on Wednesday night. Sorry, press. This is going to be great.
Thank her for putting up with you.
Absolutely. I say that all the time. Please, I'll say it to the camera here. When you see a candidate, then you thank them. You say, "Oh, it's so hard." Thank you. And it is hard. Sure, it's hard. I'm tired right now, right? But I'm running on energy and hope, and we're gonna not get any sleep until Tuesday, and that's fine. I'm doing that. But my wife, my son, they're the people who don't get to see me a lot on late nights. When I'm driving up 2 hours to Bloomington and 2 hours back, get it at 1 morning. They're the ones that my wife is the one having to take care of my son when I'm not there. She's the one, I quit my job to do this. She's the one working and getting our health insurance for us right now. Right? These are things that we don't talk about much, but these families give so much of them. So when you see the candidate, don't thank the candidate. Look to the left or the right, the person that they're with, and thank them.
It really is the whole family that runs, isn't it?
It's incredible. Yeah, there's just so much behind the scenes things, and then they have to be out in with a smile on their face and shaking hands themselves, and they do it happily, and it's for the greater good.
You get into the predictions business at all, Doc?
Sure. What do you want to know?
Is Kamala going to win?
I think Kamala wins. Yes, I do think. I think the if what I'm seeing on the ground in Indiana is indicative to what's going on in the rest of the country. Yes, I mean, just so many women coming out, solo women coming to the polls when I'm standing out there, shaking hands, giving out lit, telling people about my platform, just solo woman after solo woman coming in. And I think that just bodes very well. That's happening here in a red state, a quote unquote red state. If you live in a purple state and you're a solo woman who believes in protecting your right to be yourself, you're coming out.
A lot.
So, from there. I also think McCormick's winning. And I'll say it. I think McCormick's winning. I think the Governors Association, the Democratic Governors Association has put a good amount of money into that race recently for the right reasons, because she's a woman who can win. She's an amazing leader. She's an amazing speaker. She's an amazing partner. We've done fundraisers, just the two of us. She's invited me to bigwig fundraisers where I get to meet people. She's just helped me in tremendous ways. And I'm just one person, right? She's done this for the whole ticket. And so what a great leader that we have at the top of our ticket. I'm excited about her.
I'm excited too, and I think Destiny Wells is going to beat Rokita. I really think Indiana's turned a corner this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're going to wake up on Wednesday morning, and I think we're going to have some races that are not called yet. I think that's what's going to happen for sure. And we're going to be on the edge of our seats for days afterwards. I actually think my race is going to be one of those. I think it's going to be so close, one way or another, where it's going to be, Lloyd's. So, well, it is what it is. I mean, that would be great. It would be so great for us. It would give so much hope, and it would just propel our races when it comes in 2 years, when it's not a presidential race. And and if we show up in a non-presidential race, we're definitely going to take a lot of these House seats.
Very, very good. Doc, best of luck out there to you in the home stretch here. Thank you for being here in person with me, and just best of luck. Really, really, really hoping you pull this thing off.
Thank you. I mean, so many people to thank. I actually started writing them down a little bit. It's just
get that victory speech ready.
Yeah, I mean, one way or another, someone asked, "Are you going to write a acceptance speech or a loss speech?" And I said, "No, I'm just going to write down the people I need to thank." It's because either way, I can read that card. And it brings tears to my eyes to be thinking of this and all the stories and the people who just given them this. No one gets paid for this stuff. No one's getting paid for this reward other than the big reward, than the big return of showing that we can have a better America. As trite as that sounds, it's the truth. That's why people work. They want this country to be better. I want this country better. You, Scott, you are the epitome of this, just putting so much of yourself into this election season and helping this ticket just grow and blossom. So many, countless other people have done work too. So just thank you to everybody who has helped me, any candidate, and thank you to the families.
Yeah, democracy, priceless. Dr. Tim Peck, thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Democracy, priceless indeed. Once again, that was Dr. Tim Peck, candidate for U.S. House of Representatives in Indiana's 9th Congressional District. Let's go out with some final scenes from Saturday's march. Generations of activism in action. Dr. Peck leading protesters in a chant, bookended by crowd work from volunteer Kenna Lentz up front, and followed by the future of the movement. The unnamed child is too young to be quoted on the record, but old enough to be tired of Republicans' shit. Thanks for listening. If you haven't voted yet, what are you waiting for? Tuesday is your last chance. And the races may be over, but campaigns still have to reconcile their books. So if you're looking for good candidates to support financially, you've met several here today. Links will be in the show notes. Finally, if you're feeling extra generous, after you've contributed to one of these fine democracy defenders, head on over to scottaaronrogers.substack.com and help support this project with a paid subscription. That's where you'll find everything I publish, but you can also find me on Facebook, Blue Sky, YouTube, and TikTok at HoosLeft, and on most other social media sites at ScottRog78. My DMs are open for feedback, tips, ideas, and concerns. You can also email me at scottrog78@gmail.com. Forward the show to a friend and have them forward it to another friend. Let's keep building this project and a more democratic state brick by brick. Until next time, this has been the Who's Left podcast. I'm Scott Aaron Rogers. Love each other, Indiana.
We won't go back. How about this one, guys? Make America kind again. 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 Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
What democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
We won't go back.
We won't go back.